Hello, YouTube. I wanted to show you this room. It is, a pile of trash, basically. Not really. There's clothes and stuff, but I wanted to talk about this room because it's a very special room. When I moved into the house, it was basically a room that me and my parents renovated, and it was actually basically my favorite room in the house. We had a kitchen up here, and it had a view of, like, the small city that is here. And somehow it became just a pile of trash the last few years. And yeah, I just wanted to show you, uh, do some footage of it, because I'm gonna renovate it together with my parents again, and I wanted to make a short video first. So this house used to be like a two family home, and this was the kitchen that was on the upper floor. I'm gonna remove all this, and yeah, so I will. I'm shooting this now, and when you will see it, it has probably been a couple of weeks or perhaps even months, but wanted to make sure that I show it to you before. See you soon.
For a while now, I've been thinking about, this famous advice from Jordan Peterson. Some of you like him, some of you don't like him, doesn't matter. Um, he said, clean your room. And, this was a big thing in his practice, and I've talked about it in a different video, but I've thought about it even more because, as you know, Jordan Peterson is a Jungian in his background, and he has done a lot of reading on Jung. And even though you could explain, clean your room in a Bronfenbrenner model or a behavioral model, it's really good because it is the closest extension of yourself, and cleaning your room basically means cleaning up yourself. So I thought, hey, why not renovate my room instead? And the first thing you have to do when renovating a room, when you want to make it new, when you want to change it, is to make room. So, rip stuff out and make room for better stuff. At this point, I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into. It started out quite easy, even though this cupboard or whatever was quite well built. It was not that hard to rip out. As you can see, I was even more jacked at this point. I think I weighed about 86 kilos compared to my now 78. Uh, and yeah, just 15 minutes, or no, sorry, 5 minutes, and it was gone. Then came this cupboard, and this was so much worse. Of course, uh, you know, when you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, when you don't really know what's going on, it's very easy, at least for me, to just assume that nothing's gonna be a problem. And then, once that realization hits you of what is actually going on and what you actually need to do, it's very possible that you'll be like, oh shit. This thing took me basically all day to get rid of. It was extremely well built, so I'm sorry to the guy who built it 80 years ago that I'm ripping apart your beautiful craftsmanship, but it was time to go. Uh, it's thick boards, and there's nails everywhere. It wouldn't surprise me if this was contained like 200 nails, if not more, and I've done work like this before, semi-professionally, but usually with newer stuff you can just grab it and rip it out, you know, IKEA furniture and stuff like that. Not this. So not only was it more difficult, I couldn't use my usual techniques, and a lot of times I just stood there confused, thinking about how do I even approach this. I couldn't even cut it with the saw because, like I said, there were nails literally everywhere. So I just did my best with what I had for this new situation. But yeah, this was rough. This was a rough time, let me tell you. But in the end, if you just keep going, things will work out. You just have to not give up. Never surrender, right? Trägen vinner, as we said in a different video. And here's the thing, right? When it comes to time, what time is change. Because if nothing changes, then no time will pass. Think about it. When you pause time, what happens? Everything stops. All activity stops. So time, in that way, is nothing more than events. So if you want time to go faster, you need to do stuff. And if you do stuff, time will pass. But also, time will pass no matter what, and changes will happen no matter what you do. So make sure to, you know, control the events, and things will move in a way that you like. So here I show some video of how many nails there are. They are literally everywhere, and it makes things so much more difficult when things are well built in, integrated, so to speak, in the very foundation of the room or yourself. But bit by bit, nail by nail, you can get it out. And the thing is, usually, when talking about these things, when you get rid of a little bit, it's usually like easy after that. You get rid of 2 or 3 nails or screws, and then you can just rip it out, like here. But not with this thing, not this time, because when all seems to be done, like with this board, actually the most difficult part starts, which is weird and annoying. And this is, you know, obviously when you do stuff like this, you should wear gloves and, you know, glasses, and protect yourself, take care of yourself. But I'm just so used to everything going so smooth and easy that kind of forgot how to, or that I should really look out for myself in that manner. As you can see, I'm trying to use the hammer, but it's useless because, you know, and then I try to use this and it doesn't work out the way that I want to. Suddenly the board comes loose, but I'm like, whatever works. And I have cut out a lot of footage from me removing this thing because I didn't want the first 20 minutes to be about this, but this was and felt like a long time. Never ending, what's the word? Krångel? Yeah, just annoying stuff. Luckily, I have my crowbar. It's the best tool in the world, I think. I love crowbars. They do have a bad reputation, but they are very useful, very pragmatic, can be used to accomplish many different, tasks, and that's something that I really like. It's not very complicated either, which is good. You see, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not a painter. I have me and a friend built my porch, but he did all of the thinking and he had all of the experience. I have worked in construction and welding, so I have done some craftsmanship and some physical labor, but when it comes to wood and roofs and floors and stuff like that, I'm a complete beginner. And something that I've learned is that reducing the pressure on yourself will really help you to get involved and do stuff. Because if I had demanded perfection in this circumstance, I would have never begun. But I was like, I'm at least gonna get rid of these things, because then the room will be empty, and then we'll see after that. But I did start to develop a vision at this point, thanks to a lot of good talks with my good friend Stefan, who showed me his sort of renovations and remodeling, and was quite, inspired by him. He has done some amazing things in his apartment, and I realized that renovating and individuating is a lot more fun and productive if you do it by choice. Sometimes you have to do it, and that's the part that is not fun, but it is as productive and useful, of course, because if you have to do something, you have to do something. Look at that. The air duct was filled with wasps. Well, only their homes. There were no wasps there. So, like I said, this, part of everything took a long time. Long time. And a lot of patience and, a lot of small wounds due to my stupidity. But it was nice to have something to do, I guess. I get bored very easily, and I guess I'm a sensation seeker, but I'm also someone that very much enjoys doing stuff. And I had been obviously bored enough for this to happen. And I got more than what I bargained for, let's just put it like that. But we've almost ripped out the entire thing. Now let me tell you, the later part of the video is not so much of me working, but rather just update videos, because I found it more and more annoying to put up the camera in a good position while I was working, since there were no things in the room, and I don't have a phone stand. And I'm also trying very hard here to not destroy, the roof, being sort of careful with ripping stuff out. Because you want to make sure to only rip out the stuff that you want to rip out. And it's very easy when making room for new things and ripping stuff out that you accidentally damage or rip out things that you later learn that you want to keep. Which is not good, because once something is ruined, it's usually ruined. It can be repaired if you take your time and put in a lot of love You can repair almost anything, but it's better to not ruin it in the first place. So here is one of those things, because I was unsure about this air duct. Did I want to keep it? I kind of liked it actually, but it was so much in the way that proved what I thought. I thought it was going to be difficult to save it, because it was sort of built into the cupboard. And here, as you can see, I'm not sure of how to do this. I decided to clean out the wasp nest first, I think, which is a good idea. You should probably start with the sort of worst things that you are absolutely sure of that you don't want to keep. Or maybe not. Maybe I cut that part out. Anyway, starting to get actually frustrated here on how long this is taking, because like I said, this took a long time, and once I run out of patience, I just start to use force, and I'm like, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? I cut out all of the curse words, but believe me, one of my, I don't know if it's a bad habit, but well, it is probably a bad habit. I like to talk to objects. I did this as a lumberjack all of the time, so when I was in a bad mood, I would be like, screw you, tree, and then I would cut it down. And I wouldn't say screw you, but trying to keep it, you know, family friendly here. Oh, here I am cleaning out the wasp nest. I guess I decided to do it after I had removed the board. I was a little bit nervous if there was going to be a wasp or whatever in it, but there wasn't. I had no idea if I was allergic to wasps or not, because I had never been stung at that point. I have now. I was out driving a motorcycle last week, and I ran into one with my throat, and a second after I did that, it stung me, and it hurt. Didn't hurt nearly as much as some people say it does. I've had a lot worse, believe me. Yeah, it's nice cleaning out the wasp nest and getting some extra sunlight, some extra ventilation. As you can see, there's like big holes which I had to repair. And now it's time to clean out again. So always found it a lot easier to just throw things out than carry them out. If you aren't gonna keep the stuff, just throw them out the window or the door, because if you carry heavy stuff up and down stairways, what will usually happen if you don't injure yourself is that you might damage the walls, because it's quite annoying and difficult to carry big heavy stuff. Cute shot there with, you know, the double throw. And here we go. Of course I had to film myself, you know, being a powerhouse and just carrying super heavy shit and throwing out the balcony. Always gotta get stuff like that on tape. And here is the big one. And for me, it's important to sort of prove myself, I guess, that I am capable of doing things on my own. I don't recommend doing stuff on your own. If you don't have to, it's stupid. You know, all of the lone wolves and all of the strong women out there that insist on doing everything alone. It's stupid. Don't do it. get some help and help other people. That is what life is really about. But like I said, sometimes you gotta test what you're capable of. And I did manage to, get this very heavy, I don't know what's called, got it out. But as you can see, it fell sort of in the rail and made a dent. But that is a good memory to have. So, sort of getting it cleaned out. And with this space, I'm starting to see that, can really make something of this room. It's a good base. Now this was something that I came to regret. Ripping out the crown moldings. But then again, maybe it wasn't so bad. I learned a lot from it, and I really got to, the root of the root of the room, I guess. But let me tell you, crown moldings and baseboards, lister in Swedish, is the most annoying and difficult thing that I've ever had to work with. And it's so surprising how just awful it is. And if you ask any carpenter, they will probably agree, or anyone that has done home renovation. Well, maybe not carpenters, because they have the proper tools and they have the experience, and but it is quite difficult actually. Not ripping them out, that is super easy, like I'm doing here. That is very much the easy part, but getting them in place, as you will see later, is quite difficult. Whoever built this house did an amazing job, because these ground moldings were fitted perfectly. Of course, it helps, having layer upon layer of paint to get a good fit. But this took me a long time, and I was in a bad mood at this point. I was listening constantly, morning, day and night, to sort of Jocko Willink, David Goggins motivation reels, with like, just move on, man. And life is pain, and accept it and embrace it and stuff like that. And well, I guess it helped sort of give me motivation and energy to get stuff done, which is good. So here is where, like I said, I had a vision for the room after talking a lot to my friend Stefan. A vision for the future, let's say. And I was starting to worry that maybe it will be too dark for my liking. I've always wanted to have a dark room, ever since I was a teenager, but my mother wouldn't let me. Understandable, because I think I was at risk to become like a gothic, psychopathic teenager of some sort. And I think she wanted to counteract that, and my room was always bright, and it's so odd, because I've had 2 long relationships in my life, and the first one, the girl there, loved everything bright and spacious and white. And the second one, the person that I married, loved the opposite, sort of dark, think, a dark library with leather furnitures and cigars, and like a gentleman's club something like that. She loved that stuff. So for me, it was quite symbolic, weird in a way, to be painting the roof dark, because I was not in a good place at all. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've talked about this room for 25 minutes now, but I'm also, of course, talking about myself and my journey throughout this divorce. But I imagined that in the end, with all of the details, that it would be beautiful and bright enough, and not symbolic. My mother told me that it's okay to have your bedroom dark because you're gonna sleep there. You need the peace and quiet. But I was starting to worry. So got rid of the old kitchen. The the thing that makes it darker or brighter. And let me tell you, and this is symbolic by the way, would have been so much easier to just paint everything, paint over it, just get rid of every little, or cover up rather, every little spot and bad thing. Would have been done in a matter of days, and yeah, would have been no problem. But of course, underneath all that paint, you would have not great. It wouldn't be great. The result wouldn't be great, and the room would not have been properly renovated. So I decided to make it dark with brown, shining through. Because at this point I had decided that the room was going to be black, gold, and wooden. And I'm hoping, as you will see later, that gold, light will reflect in the floor in a good way. And yeah, had to film it like this in a tank top just to show off. Always got to do that. Someday I'll be 60 years old, and I won't have great arms like this. So then I can look back and be like, yep, at least I used to. At this point, you can see the, improvements are starting to happen a little bit. I worked a lot on the floor. So when it comes to old things, do not replace everything. It's so easy to go overboard, just because that is the basic idea of renovation and stuff like that, right? Replacing stuff. But you also have to know when the old stuff is better than whatever new stuff that you might want to replace it with. Traditions, after all, are tried and successful experiments. So at this point, it's really starting to hit me just how much this room is a tribute to my wife, as I'm sort of looking at this huge ceiling mirror that I got, that I heard her mention sometime, and also, looking at the room, just how dark it is and beautiful, and in her style, but to be fair, my style as well, because I've always wanted a black and gold room. And that is so funny to me, just how she had a huge impact on me, and she changed my life in a big way. And of course, this room that is me will be she's a big part of that, and especially, of course, in the context of me renovating my bedroom after, you know, a breakup from a relationship that was the most intense, amazing, and beautiful time I've ever had. So that's not strange at all, I guess. But I do wonder at, how much of that was just me trying to win her back by, making her dream room. However, as I made this room, I also realized to a very big extent that I was making it my own. You could, of course, claim that she inspired it to a great deal, but more so was my friends, especially Stefan, who gave me the inspiration for the bookshelf that you're about to see, but also myself in my self-efficacy, and that I do believe that I can achieve most things if I set my mind to it, and that it's extra effort for something really nice. Because only me and my son live in this house. We have, 3 rooms that we don't need. So, me making a bedroom was not necessary at all. We could have basically, we don't even have to use the upper floor. But I didn't want to live in my old bedroom. Reminded me too much of, past times. And for time to pass, for a person to be able to get distance between the present and the past, things have to happen. Things have to change. You have to do something. And that's what I did. So here is, taking off the plastic off the ceiling, which is funny because you'll never guess who the camera person is for this reveal of the ceiling mirror. I was so careful. Imagine if I'd broken it. It was an absolute nightmare getting this up, because we had to lift it up from the outside via the balcony, and it was so, easy to bend and easy to break, because it's a lightweight mirror, but not a plastic one. So we had to make the back for it before bringing it up via the balcony. And then, of course, we had to be 5 people to hold it to the roof while one screwed the frame in place. But it's cool. Not everyone has a huge ceiling mirror, I guess. And yeah, those who knows, they know. If you know, I guess. But it's pretty cool to look up at it, and it looks like there's a room above the room also, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Here we go. It feels like when I ripped off the plastic, it was taking forever and ever and ever and ever, because I was being so careful, but it was also stuck on quite hard. And you can see in the background here, the bookshelf is starting to take place, which this was direct inspiration from my friend Stefan, who made a beautiful bookshelf out of the same sort of bookshelves that I bought and put in here. It's just cheap IKEA Billy bookshelves, but I really hated assembling them. Assembling bookshelves actually sucks, and assembling the bed was even worse. It was an absolute nightmare. But here we go. Here's the mirror, and here is me putting in new crown moldings in gold, and this, things had been going quite well at this point for a good time, and sometimes afterwards, though, you will feel bad again, and putting in crown moldings made me feel bad. It was absolutely awful. And then I had to put in moldings for the bookshelf, like my friend did, paint them. But I do think it's finally time for a reveal, don't you? 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Turns out it did take more than a couple of weeks. It was actually months. Today it's, I don't know, 24th of June, Psychology Everyday 104. So 2.5 months, here we are. The mirror in the roof, ceiling, bed, floor, baseboards, crown molding, and the bookshelf. I haven't filled it up yet. I do have more than enough books, stories to fill it up with, but I'm trying to actually, decide what stories do I want to keep, which ones do I want to leave behind. Um, I'm not done yet. The room is not done, and I'm not done. Still need to expand the view, so to speak, replace the window. But yeah, new floor, well, refurnished, new baseboard, new wallpaper. Thank you so much to my dear mother for helping me with that. New crown molding, new roof paint. I painted the radiator in gold. I made this, you saw this in another video, representing the persona, the shadow, and the individuation. Of course, anima. Funny, I didn't think about it, but I put it on the other side of the bed. Electricity, which of course is nice, had to order an electrician or pay an electrician to fix it. Got this elephant head from a flea market. Never really been a fan of elephants, but then, when studying Jungian psychology, I had to look at what it represents, and after that, man, just had to put it up on the wall. Do you see this? This is how much that is missing, and to order it, it's like $50 just in shipment. But I'm gonna put around the mirror as well, but not yet. I'm chilling out right now. Buddha, symbol for wisdom and probably a lot more. So is the owl. I had this. I bought it, and as you could see in the video, I painted it because it had been outside for a long time and deteriorated, and I hadn't actually looked at it much before 2021, and now I brought it back in. My gold medals, my sort of army diploma, and my tag. This is my favorite. It was a gift from my mother for our engagement. And I thought this was funny. It's like two small holy grails. I don't know. Also, horse. I don't know. Found this at a flea market as well. It's quite cool. Symbolizes the warrior archetype, I do believe, if you wanted to. This was a gift from my father. Oh, here you can see my just absolute horrible cheating when building these things. Got it when I was like 9, and he told me to take care of it, not break it, and not lose it. And that's what I did. Put in my favorite books, the ones that I really like and that I will read again. I've lost some books, sort of like I've forgotten stories, I guess. Uh, but that's okay. If you really want to reread it, just buy new ones. Here's my, personal corner with some perfumes. This is actually empty, but I'm gonna buy more of it. In this box, I keep jewelry and a little memory token. Let's see if I can see. I love you forever and always. It's cute. My journal, genius ideas you wouldn't understand, was a gift to me, and it's quite fitting. Also added my story. How cool is this? I found this at a flea market as well. The genie in the lamp in Aladdin is very symbolically heavy. I'm gonna rub it and see if I get any wishes. Maybe. The 3 wishes are that you can't defeat death, or hinder it, or reverse it. You can't make someone love you, and you can't get any more wishes, which is sort of, you don't get to rewind time, you don't get to redo things. This was a gift from somewhere, I don't actually remember, and I found this. Probably has some sort of symbolic meaning as well. This is something that I mean to replace. Just have it for now. I'm gonna probably remove it after I'm done with this video. The turtle, of course, symbolizes patience, I do believe. The gong also symbolizes something, I don't know what. And this is my astrology sign, I think. And oh, yeah, here. I don't know what these are called actually in English, but it's a kronhjort and his kid. If it is called a crown deer, I don't know, but it's a symbol of individuation, wisdom, and guidance. So, like I said, I'm not done yet. There are still some flaws, and there's still some work to be done. But I like it. I like the progress, and I'm happy with it, and I sleep well here. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. And I almost forgot, not really. The same people that, were a big part of helping me with this room, of course, was a big part of the individuation as well. So a big thank you to my friend Stefan, to my mother, to my son, to my friend Tom, and my friend Annika, and my brother a little bit. See you.